Okay, really quick. So I gotta say, what's going on with the release schedule for these Twilight Wings episodes? In the beginning, the episodes were coming out at 9, 10 o'clock Eastern. But for some reason, the last episode in this month's episode, it literally released in the middle of the night, at least Eastern time zone. Literally, like I said, the first couple of episodes they released in the early morning. This episode it released in the early morning. So yeah, it came out at 2 a.m. where I'm at least. But anyways, I actually woke up to this and I actually really enjoyed this episode. It features Allister and return of two previous characters from the very first episode. Anyways, before I get on to the review, I just want to say if you like this type of video, be sure to like and subscribe as I cover the Pokemon Twilight Wings series when the episodes release. I also cover the main series of Pokemon. So if you want to check that out, please like, comment, subscribe. Anyways, on to the review. We start off this episode in a graveyard. Not really sure where the graveyard's at, but it's somewhere in the Galar region. Anyways, Allister's hanging out in this graveyard with his pals Gengar, Haunter, and Ghastly. And that's when Tommy shows up. Remember Tommy from the very first episode? He was one of the two sickly kids from the very first episode? Yeah! He's actually seeking out Allister because he wants to get a pass for an official gym match. But it's not for him, it's for his best friend John. Remember John? He's the kid that wrote the letter to Rose in the very first episode. I really like what they're doing here, because I was wondering when these two kids would show back up. They were introduced in the first episode, and they've been absent for the last couple of episodes while they've been focusing on other characters. I was wondering what was going to be going on with these kids, whether they were going to be coming back at some point, or that plot was just going to be left untouched. But it looks like they got back to it, as, some time has passed since episode 1, and it looks like John and Tommy have gotten into a little bit of a fight, and Chairman Rose hasn't exactly answered John's letter, so he gets into a little bit of a fight with him. And I like this moment too, because as Tommy is explaining the story to Allister, you see Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar, and they look super sad, especially Gengar. I actually really like that. So Allister decides to help out Tommy, and he wants Tommy to apologize to John first and foremost before they do anything else. So they head over to the Corviknight taxi dude, who's always been appearing in every episode, and they freak him out because they just show up in the taxi cab, and they go right to the hospital. And in order to sneak in, they have to trick the security guard, in which they freak him out. They take his drink and his newspaper, and Allister freaks him out, which I thought was pretty funny, which shows that Allister's a little trickster boy. Anyways, Tommy ends up getting back in the hospital, and he has a conversation with John. And it turns out that it looks like John actually might be getting released soon, because his procedure, whatever it was successful. But they're keeping him for, just for observation. So it looks like John might actually be able to become a Pokemon trainer in the future. Anyways, so the security guard comes back up to check up on John, and he doesn't really notice anything else. And Allister and Tommy hang out, talk, I want to say right outside the hospital, talk about, hey, thanks for helping me out, whatever. But I also like the moment where they go back to the Corviknight taxi, and he's like, man, what's taking those two so long? And he looks in the taxi cab, and there they are again. And before he can really say too much else, that's when Gengar, Ghastly, and Haunter show up and freak the guy out. And then here's the most interesting part at the end of the episode. We cut to a scene where Leon, he's heading up to talk to Chairman Rose in his, I forget what his tower is called. I think it's like Rose Tower or something like that. I don't know. It's been a little bit of time since I played Sword and Shield. But anyways, Leon's heading up to talk to Rose, and he's actually talking to Sonia, which, yeah, Sonia with her hair down. Sonia is bae, guys. Anyways, turns out Chairman Rose actually delivers John's letter to Leon. He looks at it and he's like, man, do I really look like this? And that's where the episode comes to an end. So I'm actually really curious to see what's going to be going down in the very last episode. I'm wondering if these two kids, or at least John, is going to be showing up at this match and maybe meeting Leon in the future. I'm actually very interested to see how they're going to be wrapping up this series. Again, I gotta say, another solid episode. Once again, this series has been delivering with each and every single episode. Each episode has been great, and this episode is no different. But I like the fact that they're tying in episode 1 finally. I was wondering when they were going to do something with that plot line. Because last couple of episodes they focus on other characters, which is fine. But the plot that they developed in the first episode, I want to see it go through. And, well, it looks like it's actually happening. And I firmly believe that the final episode of the Twilight Wings series is going to be focused on Tommy meeting Leon, maybe meeting his hero. And then maybe it ends with him going on his Pokemon journey. We'll see when the episode comes out next month, but I'm actually really looking forward to it. And at the same time, I don't want to say goodbye to this series. This series has been so good. Like, seriously, can we get more episodes with other characters? Can we get a Marnie focus episode? Can we get a Hop, maybe not, we already had one Hop focus episode, but maybe a Bead focus episode? Just the other gym leaders that we didn't focus on. Can we just get focus episodes for those characters? I really want to see that. I'd say the one and only gripe I do have with this episode, and it's more of just a little bit of a nitpick on my end, is the fact that because we're tying in episode 1 and the characters of John and Tommy, unfortunately Allister, there wasn't really a whole lot to do with him besides him helping out, you know, the two characters from the first episode. He's mainly helping out Tommy, and Tommy's telling the story to him. We only know that Allister, he's a very shy boy, but he's a little bit of a trickster. But unfortunately, they didn't do a ton with him. Like, when you compare him to Bee, Nessa, and even Hop a little bit, there wasn't really a whole lot done for his character so much. Didn't really get to know, like, you know, more about him, like, his, you know, his life as a gym leader, that kind of stuff. That's probably the only thing that, like, bothered me a little bit of this episode. But at the same time, I think tying in the plotline in episode 1 with John and Tommy, you know, makes up for this. So, you know, just a little bit of issue I have. Maybe increase the episode length to like 10 minutes. You get to know Allister a little bit more, and then, yeah, this would have been like a 10 out of 10 episode. But yeah. So I'd probably give this episode maybe a solid 9 out of 10. Again, solid episode. I really don't want to see this series come to an end, but we got one more review next month, and it's going to be hard to say goodbye to this series because it's been so good. Anywho, what do you guys think out there? Did you love the episode? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe out there.